Are you ready to take your business to new heights? I'm Mackenzie Kilshaw, and I'm here to help you unlock your business's full potential with my coaching and consulting business, Mackenzie Kilshaw Co. An award-winning entrepreneur, I also have education in marketing, human resource management, and recently leadership from Harvard Business School. But more importantly, I have over 20 years of hands-on experience in business and entrepreneurship. I've been in your shoes. I know the challenges and I know the solutions. I specialize in areas crucial to business success: business basics, marketing, sales, leadership, and customer service. Whether you're just starting out or looking to revamp your marketing strategy, boost your sales, develop strong leadership skills, or enhance customer satisfaction, my team and I offer tailored coaching and consulting services designed to propel your business forward. Follow Mackenzie Kilshaw Co. on Facebook and Instagram, and visit our website at mackenziekilshaw.com today to book your one-on-one call with me. Let's work together to achieve your business goals and make your business unforgettable.
Winning is your guide to making it in business. Join our award-winning host and entrepreneur, Mackenzie Kilshaw, and special guests in casual conversations that will educate and inspire you on your business journey. Winning will help you learn the hard lessons the easy way with guidance from celebrated entrepreneurs and business leaders. It's fun. It's informative. It's winning.
Hello, welcome to Winning. I am your host, Mackenzie Kilshaw, and my guest today is someone you guys have all heard from before. It's my dad, Barry Firby. Hi, Dad.
Hey there, Mac. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. So I had to bring Dad back. I actually have something that's extremely exciting and important to me that I've been working on for like 3 years now, but I find it's really boring for me to just sit here and talk by myself. So I brought Dad on to ask me a few questions, and I am very excited to introduce and to announce that I am starting my own consulting business called Mackenzie Kilshaw Co.
Mackenzie Kilshaw Co. What is it?
So, good question, Dad. What is it? It's going to be a consulting company that will focus on sales and marketing, customer service, and leadership. So I will consult, coach, mentor anyone that needs help in these areas on ideas on where you want to go and how you're going to get there. And obviously, with all of those things, there'll be additional services as well, which we'll chat about. But I think just really something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and it's finally coming to life. So I couldn't be happier.
So you say all sorts of services. So basically, almost anyone could jump in and help them at whatever stage they're needing help with.
Yeah, exactly. If they're just starting out or if they've been in business for a number of years and it kind of feels stuck, I can give them a hand for sure.
Oh, that's wonderful. By the way, I'm really excited to be a return guest.
Thank you. I think you're the only one. So there you go, Dad. You made a record.
So why are you starting this new business now?
So I'm starting it now. As I said at the beginning, I've been thinking about it for honestly like years, probably since I sold my business. So 3 years in the making. Like everybody else, you think about doing something and then something holds you back, whether it's fear, whether it's time commitment, whether it's family. It wasn't fear for me because I've already done this, but it was more of a time commitment. So what I did was actually started with the podcast. So that's where I created Winning, was to help people that were like me, entrepreneurs, small business owners that need a hand, need ideas, need some guidance. So it started with the podcast. And I had a full-time job. I worked for a tech company. I really enjoyed my job. But like many others on the podcast have shared as well, and happened to me, I got laid off. There was a restructuring of the company. My job was terminated, which, was kind of a hard thing to take at first because your initial thought is it's you. And in this case, it was a restructuring. So I knew it wasn't me. But this actually was the catalyst. It gave me the time now to develop the company, develop the programs and the courses and all of the offerings that I'm going to have. And honestly, I probably should have done it a long time ago, but here we are. I'm excited to get going.
Well, that's fantastic. So I guess the question that would come to my mind, if I'm business person out there, and I've been that person. Why should I pick you?
Yeah, so really, I think there's a few reasons. I have a lot of education and a lot of experience. And I understand where you are because I was you. And I think that's really important to work with someone that's been in your shoes. So I, 20 years ago, got my marketing degree and human resources degree from the University of Saskatchewan in Saskatoon. This year, I continued my education through York University. So I got a certificate on digital marketing, which, of course, when I was in school 20 years ago, there was no such thing as digital marketing because there was nothing digital. So that just gave me a whole new, broader aspect and broader knowledge on everything digital, right? So that's everything online and social media, that search engine optimization, that's all of these things, Google ads. So I really brushed up there. And then recently I was very honored to be accepted into Harvard Business School. So I'm actually taking a course there as well on leadership. And leadership is something that I've always really excelled in. I always kind of was a leader in the jobs that I had. I enjoy leadership, but I think it's one of those things that people actually forget, that you might need a little training in that area. So business experience, I have over 20 years now, I guess, of business experience after leaving school. I think for me, though, it's the school of hard knocks. I was an entrepreneur for over 10 years. I shouldn't say was, I guess I still am. But I'm also a full circle entrepreneur. So I created, ran, and sold a business. So I've got experience in all of these aspects.
Okay, let's just take a couple of minutes here and let's dive into this whole aspect of what kinds of work. Why don't you take a couple of 3 minutes here and give me some scenarios that where let's say I'm just starting, I'm not even open yet, but I got a bunch of great ideas and I'm the guy who thinks he can do it himself. What would you say to me?
Yeah, for sure. Well, you were me 10 years ago where I thought, oh, I've got all this knowledge, I've got all this experience, I'm going to open a business, everything's going to be great. And I think when you first start out, that's your first thoughts. You know there's going to be hard times, but you don't realize, first of all, you really can't do everything yourself. That's not even realistic. And when we all start out, we try because of a few things. Finances. Usually when you start out, you don't have a lot of money to pay someone else. Also, you want to be involved in your business, right? So you really want to be hands-on in all of the aspects of your business. But there comes a time, whether you're a solopreneur, as I'd say, just one person, or if you have a team or building a team, maybe you've been in business for a long time, but there comes a time when you run into a difficult situation or a problem, or something that you're not sure. Maybe it's just that you're kind of stagnant, like you haven't grown, you can't increase your revenues, you're not sure what to do. Or maybe you're like me before I took the digital marketing course and you think, I know I should be on social media, but I don't even know where to start. For a lot of people, it's time. I know I should be doing this, but I don't have time to do it. So those are all reasons why you use a consultant. I think if I just going back a little bit, I know I kind of mentioned other services, but when you work with a consultant, you're really working with their strengths. So to me, I'm really passionate and educated about customer service, sales and marketing, and leadership. So those are my strengths. So those are things, if someone says, I have a great staff, but our customer service isn't that great, you bring in a consultant like me to help you improve your customer service. So really what I'll do is assist you in creating strategies to reach your goals. I can help you make more money and work less, which I know for a lot of entrepreneurs is huge. I can help you increase your customer base. There's all sorts of things that a consultant or someone like me can do. Also, something that I can do is help you to create and implement policies and procedures for your business. So whether you're just starting out or you've been in business for a long time, a lot of businesses have been around for years and they don't have any policies or procedures. They just do what they've been doing for years and years. But when you actually have things in place and your team knows, your staff knows what's going on, you actually run a lot more efficient. And with efficiency comes things like revenue and growth. So that's really important. Sales and customer service training for your team. I led a team of 10 people when I had my stores. I also have led teams in other jobs that I've had. And that leadership aspect is really important. And then, of course, marketing. So things like social media management, maybe it's website creation. Maybe you have a website, but it's not that great. People aren't really going to it. You don't know how to get them there. Or they get to it and they bounce, they leave right away. So I can help you with your website. And then, of course, as I said before, leadership training and how you can become a more effective leader, because being an effective leader really will get you leaps and bounds farther. And I think a lot of people don't even really realize that.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the second entrepreneur guy that I'm coming to you. I already have a business and it's doing fairly well. I have 4 or 5 employees, and I'm thinking it's going well, but there's some things that I think could be better. So, I mean, you could sort of jump in and are you willing to customize an approach on what their individual needs might be?
100%. And in all reality, everything is customizable because it really is for your business. So if you're an entrepreneur, a small business owner, if you feel stuck or you don't know what to do, if you really aren't even sure what your goals should be, a lot of people are like, well, like you just said, your person, yeah, things are going great. What should I work towards? Or what's something that I could do to increase my revenue or work less, as I said. The glory of working with me, a consultant, is that you don't need to have employees in all these areas. So maybe you don't have a whole marketing team or a marketing team at all, right? And you work with a consultant to do your marketing for you. And maybe someone that's been in business for a long time didn't really do a lot of marketing because they started out, they're established and, they've got regular customers and whatnot, but now they're feeling a little stagnant. So maybe a boost in your marketing is going to bring you those new clients or freshen you up. Maybe it's a rebrand. Maybe you say, you know what, our brand is dated. We need a refresh. We need younger people. We need people that have never heard of us to get to know who we are. And so those are really things I can help with. The glory of being a consultant is that I can help you with what you need when you need it, right? So, yeah, so that's the thing. Like, if you need help this year with marketing, fantastic. And next year, maybe you call me back again and say, you know what, now my team needs sales training because we've got all these new clients coming in. We need sales training. Oh, wait, we also need customer service training because there's all these new people, right? And you can work with me on a contract basis so that you're not paying me all the time if you don't need me, right? And that's really a great thing about consulting.
That's really good. I'm going to give you one more scenario. And that is that I've been in this business for a long time, and I've done either myself or my spouse and we operate a family business, and we are getting to where we're not burning out, but we're doing so many darn things. And we would like to be able to step away for a weekend now and then or whatever. We're not asking Mackenzie Kilshaw Co to come in and run the business, but what can you help them with to take some loads off and automate some of that business that they're actually spending way too much personal time on?
Yeah. And honestly, it happens to everybody. Every entrepreneur, small business owner is being through that. You're working on a lot of times it's just you, right? Especially if it's a family business, just you. You might have some employees, but they don't know how to do what you do necessarily. So going back to some of those policies and procedures, maybe it's just a procedure that you make so that someone else can step into that role when you're not there and do it. Whether that's a staff member or whether that's something that you pay a consultant to do, depending what it is, obviously. But the more things, it's 2024, the more things that we can get automated and automatic And as I always like to say, my ultimate goal is make money while you sleep, right? So maybe that's, you've never had an online store before. And by having an online store, you could actually just close your storefront for a couple of days to take a break. We'll be closed for these days, but you still have sales coming in online. You're not even there. But when you get back Monday, guess what? You pack up all those orders and you ship them out. So there's different things that you can do. And when we're in our own business, we're in our own business. So we don't often see other things that are potentials for us. I met with someone last week and I gave her a few ideas and she's like, I never thought of that before. And I said, well, of course not, because you haven't seen kind of the broader aspect of business. You see what's in your business, right? And so that's the great thing about consultants. Someone like me is that we'll look at your business as a whole and give you some ideas of some alternatives or additional things that you could do or provide or automate or whatever it happens to be, so that it makes your life easier. And at the end of the day, when you're an entrepreneur or small business owner, you also have a family. You also have a personal life. You also have friends. There's other things you want to do. So if we can get it so that you can work less and make more money, that is the ultimate win.
That is indeed the ultimate win. But hey, listen, I know all the success that you have had in a lot of different fields. And I think it would be advantageous because I would say, well, what kind of people would you want to hire? But maybe why don't you just give us a little bit of a background on some of the different career opportunities that you've had, so that our listeners can relate to you and say, oh, well, I didn't know she knew about this, or I didn't know she knew about that.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dad. I think if we really want to roll back the truck here, I started babysitting when I was about 12. And working with children, you sure learn a lot of patience and honestly ideas, right? How do you keep kids entertained? So that, I think, really got my idea aspect flowing. I worked in the service industry. So when I was in university age, I actually managed a bar and restaurant. And so I worked there. So I have a lot of service experience. I was a bartender, a waitress, a cook, a cleaner. I kind of did it all there. When I did that through university, I worked at the Bay, which is a department store, and I actually sold cosmetics. So sales, to me, sales are sales. If you're a good salesperson, you can sell anything. It's your sales technique, right? That really matters. And I only worked at the Bay for about 6 months, but I was one of the top sales people in the Bay. And I think that's because I really sold the proper way with features and benefits. So call me up. I'll tell you all about features and benefits. I'll give you some sales training. But when I left the Bay, I moved to SaskTel, which is the provincial telephone company. At the time I started there, honestly, was probably the worst job you can have, was direct sales. So I was cold calling people and trying to sell them everything from long distance plans to internet to TV services. Once again, I was one of the top sales people in our team. And because I sold people what they needed, I didn't sell them anything that wasn't going to benefit them. I loved SaskTel. It was a great experience. But I kind of was ready to move on for something there. I worked a lot of evenings and weekends. I was 25 years old. I didn't want to work on the weekend. I wanted to go out and have fun. So I actually moved into another sales role, which was with Hershey, chocolate and candy. So I sold chocolate bars and Twizzlers, licorice, and all sorts of fun things. I handled all corporate clients. So Walmart, Superstore, Shoppers Drug Mart, really big stores is what I was in charge of. Again, I was a top salesperson and leadership there as well. And same thing, liked Hershey. As people know my story, they know my mom passed away suddenly. I wanted to do my own thing, and that's when I started my stores. So I started one store in Saskatoon. 2 years later, I started another store in Regina. Absolutely love those stores. Couldn't have had a better experience as an entrepreneur. But I got married, I got married. My husband and stepson lived in another city. So I was doing what I called the Bermuda Triangle, driving kind of around in circles, and I knew I couldn't sustain that. And so I was fortunate enough that my two spaces, two different groups took over my leases and I was able to leave. I ran my store online. So I completely built and marketed an online store. So I have a lot of experience there. And then I actually sold that. So I was a full circle entrepreneur at that time. After I sold, I worked for a tech company. So I know quite a bit about tech too. And I started out doing partnerships. So I ran our influencer program. I have a lot of experience in influencer marketing. I ran our partnerships program. So working with different companies and different brands on how you can work together. And then I actually moved to the head of customer success and sales. So I ran the team that did customer service and sales there. And of course, as I was doing that, I did the podcast as well. And podcast is such a different life that I absolutely love. It lets me share all these messages to the world, which is really exciting.
I want to squeeze in one more question here. And
okay, do it, Dad.
That is, how do they get a hold of you for information?
Yeah, so obviously I'm going to be on social media. I'm going to be on Facebook and Instagram, Mackenzie Kilshaw Co, it's just CO. And my website is just my name, MackenzieKilshaw.com. That's the best way to see me. The best way to get a hold of me. You'll see what I offer. I'm going to have free downloads, courses you can take, contact info if you want to work for me. I cannot wait to work with people. Dad, thank you so much for being on and asking me the questions. This is just so exciting for me. And I think once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur, and I'm back.
Good night.
Thanks, Pops. We'll see you later. And for everybody listening, pop me a message. I'll be happy to let you know where you can find out more, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening to Winning. Be sure to subscribe to get all of our new episodes. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others. Post about it on social media and leave a rating and review wherever you listen to Winning. To catch all of the latest from us, you can follow Winning Podcast on Instagram at winning_podcast, Facebook at Winning Podcast, and on Twitter at Winning Pod. Winning was created and is produced by me, Mackenzie Kilshaw. Music created by Summer Firby. Editing by Seth Armstrong. Special thanks to Shauna Foster for voicing our opening. And of course, a huge thank you to this episode's guest. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.